Just give me a moment. I'll just post in all my groups for them to join. Thank you for being patient. Okay, so the number one question I have received recently is what is meditation, which is a very interesting question. How to meditate, I have dealt with a lot of times, but yesterday someone asked me, what is meditation? They had no idea. And I was like, wow, that's a question that needs to be dealt with, right? So if you have never heard of meditation, why should you meditate? What is meditation? I look at it like this. We have an inside world and an outside world. We are very aware of everything that our five senses register and, process. We make sense, make stories in our minds about all the things that we see outside. And we forget that we also have a very active world inside. In fact, I would say the inner world is far more important than the outside world, wouldn't you say? How much of our perceptions are actually real? Haven't we seen so many times that we have a conversation, we have ideas about that conversation, about what the person said or did, and then later we realize that we were actually completely wrong. Maybe you felt insulted, but they were actually paying you a compliment. Doesn't that happen sometimes? So what happens is our inner world creates filters through which we see the outer world, and that's messed up. Now, everyone out there is processing the world through their filters, and nobody actually knows what's really going on. Everybody is just, and it's not just one filter, right? We have multiple filters. What are these filters? These are belief systems, conditioning, cultural conditioning, family or ancestral conditioning, all of these things. Like, for example, a simple thing, like in Japan, they slurp when they're drinking tea or hot liquids. It's supposed to be polite. Imagine if somebody sat down in front of you and started making a sound, while drinking their tea, you would be offended. So the same thing that offends one person can actually be a compliment to another person. Is just because we don't know. And this is a very literal example out there, but it's actually much more subtle than that. If this person respects me, they would say something like this or act like this. If this person hates me, they would act like this. And we have all of these ideas. I'm not safe, I'm not worthy of being rich, or, all of these ideas, they create a lot of problems. So why should we be meditating? We take a lot of care to keep our external worlds clean, organized, in control, right? What are we doing to take care of our inner worlds? We don't even know what a mess we have inside. So meditation is this process of actually turning that attention inwards, that brilliance, turning it inwards and looking more deeply and figuring out, okay, this is what it's like inside, and I'm going to start paying attention and then sorting out the mess that exists inside. How do we meditate? Well, just use one of my videos. Okay, I have a question over here. When there is an excess of production of neurochemicals, dopamine, due to aha moments or excitement, is this what makes the Bhru chakra active? I don't think so. I mean, it's just chemicals. People are high all the time. That's equal to saying that if somebody is doing drugs, are they opening the third eye? Not really. I mean, you can end up having some experiences at the most, but um, dopamine and aha moments, not really, right? Does everyone happy experience an eye-opening moment? Not really. So no, I don't think so. But yeah, what is happening is the continuous rush of these chemicals can actually start to get you addicted to them. So this is what all this media is doing continuously. Overactivate. Do they overactivate the third eye? Yes, they not necessarily. Again, they're just chemicals. Why would chemicals just go ahead and activate or overactivate the third eye? Um, what can happen is you can just get addicted. So when you have a rush of chemicals again and again, and it doesn't have to be only the negative, sorry, positive ones. It can be very often the negative chemicals as well. You know, you get used to a continuous rush of adrenaline or your endorphin, not endorphin. Why am I remembering all the happy chemicals? But you know, you can have a rush of the, yeah, I'm just blanking out. I'm only remembering serotonin, dopamine, all the happy chemicals. But if you have a rush of the negative chemicals as well, it does get addictive. And this is why people get stuck in addictive patterns of relationships as well, you know, where if you've noticed, there are times when you want the other person, your spouse or someone close to you, you want them to engage with you in a fight. And you know, you don't even like fighting, but there may be a part of you that's asking, why are you doing this? You know, just you can deal with it calmly, but you're itching for a fight. That's nothing but the drug addict you looking for their fix. You know, you want that rush of adrenaline or one of those chemicals. So weird, I can't remember the name. Cortisol. Yes, cortisol is the word I was looking for. Thank you. Yes, cortisol. Cortisol and adrenaline. You want a dose of that, so then you start picking fights with people in your life. This is what happens to all those hyper aggressive people. They're like massive addicts. They're just waiting for everything to just uh, keep pumping in their system. Um, yeah. So I had a couple of other interesting questions from someone who could not join the live, and I really wanted to address those as well. So we're coming to Reiki now. But it says, I've heard that receiving and offering Reiki can attract karmic links. I've read your article related to this and liked it, but I'd be grateful if you can throw some light in this regard and your point of view and experience. Very good question, and I think very poorly understood by most of the Reiki community. Also, my students, unfortunately, it's just something people don't register in a class and then don't apply, and then it just circulates and goes from bad to worse. There's a lot of teachers that talk about how giving Reiki to people can cause bad karma, and it's true. It's the partial truth. It's not like giving Reiki to someone else can cause bad karma, but giving um, a CPR to someone is not going to cause bad karma. Come on. Karma is just attachment. If you're afraid that you will attract bad karma by giving Reiki to someone, then you should be terrified of, for all the doctors in your life, because they're putting themselves literally on the front lines. They're literally exposing themselves to diseases day in and day out. That's practically physical karma. Forget about energetic karma, which you cannot even see or make out for a long time if it is affecting you even. So we've got to stop being paranoid about things that we don't see, and open our eyes a little bit. Karma is literally just attachment. When you're trying to help someone out, are you attached to the outcome? It's as simple as that. It doesn't matter whether you're a doctor, whether you're a healer. Yes, in either case, trying to manipulate and, get a different outcome can be very messy. Like, for example, even in cases of things like transplants and stuff, even those who do it, we know how difficult their lives continue to be even after that. So if we try to change something in an artificial way, whether it is physically or mentally or energetically, if we are like trying to change things, things are never natural, easy, and effortless ever again after that. So that applies to everything as well. um, and what else can I tell you about karmic issues? So the more open we are in terms of, I'm here to just allow the flow to happen as it is, and I'm here to facilitate the work of Reiki, nothing can really affect you because you are just an instrument of this, universal flow. Then you're completely fine. There's nothing to worry about, no matter what you're doing physically, mentally, emotionally, energetically, it doesn't matter. But that's not how most of us approach healing. Most of us approach healing because we're like, I want this result. I want this person to be okay. I want this to be fixed. I want this financial issue to be fixed. I want this person to have a baby. I want this person to get married. If you have an agenda, and then if you start giving Reiki, and if you, more than anything else, if you feel sorry for your client, you will pick up their negative energy, and you will pick it up regardless of whether you're doing Reiki or whether you're a doctor. I mean, this is exactly why doctors are told not to operate on their own family, right? Because there the attachment is the greatest. And a lot of doctors tend to go to the other extreme and just, be very impersonal with their patients because they just don't want to expose themselves to that feeling at all. And then that cuts out a lot of compassion as well. And this can happen to healers also, So the key is in the balance of remaining compassionate but not attached. It takes a lot of work to get there. Took me a lot of work to get there as well. Not that I'm fully there. I don't think anyone is, you know. Um, so that's the core thing. You are going to pick up negative energy regardless. But the difference with Reiki, especially Reiki, is Reiki will usually give you a backlash sort of indication pretty quick for you to realize and learn and then change your behavior. So that's the advantage of doing Reiki. And also the second thing, to follow the rules. Are you taking a fee for healing them? Doesn't have to be money, but are you taking some sort of exchange? You don't have to take it from family members, of course, but are you actually, is this an exchange? People think of taking a fee as a very egoistic thing to do, but I mean, really, unless you're doing this professionally, what do you get out of taking 500 rupees out of someone else? Is it a big deal of money for you? No, it's not. It actually puts you in your place. It makes this thing equal and done, as opposed to you give someone a free healing and now you're like, yeah, I'm awesome. Look, I've done something for you that, is priceless. Now you owe me. And you might think, no, no, Ashwita, I'm not like that. I do it selflessly. There is no such thing as selfless. And that's the whole point of this. There is no such thing as selfless. Do not lie to yourself. So healing for free actually increases the ego big time. This is precisely why we say take a fee. Because if you take a fee, you're just an ordinary, useless person who's just, taking a fee for doing a Reiki healing. You're not this big, great person making the world a better place. And, you're not that awesome. You just take a fee. So it puts you in your place to actually take something in exchange as opposed to just doing it for free and, being a great person. And then lastly, permission, the most important part of all. We forget this all the time. We are not here to change people against their will, no matter how badly we think they should improve. I give this example of sisters asking for their brothers to quit smoking all the time. Ashwita, my brother doesn't want to quit smoking, but can I give him Reiki anyway? No, you can't. It's not your thing. Yes, if you're living with someone, who is smoking and then that's affecting you, or living with someone who is sick and then you have to take care of them and that's affecting your life and putting your whole life on pause, then yes, you have the right to do it for your own sake. But you never have the right to heal someone for their good against their permission. That is a violation of free will. That's it. So regarding the fees, Momita has an interesting comment. Strange, but people feel so bad to pay anything. Even 500 is too much. And they keep asking, where is the outcome? Where is the magic? Um, one healing session and people expect what and not. Yeah, that's there. Such people are not worth wasting our time in, honestly. For most of the people, I don't like, of course, there's clients, but then in my normal average life, um, I don't usually tell anything to people. When people ask me, how should I explain to people around me what Reiki is? I don't know what to say because I never actually explain things. You know, of course, I'm saying you should give Reiki with a fee and everything, but like a 2 or 3 minute healing doesn't matter. So most of the times when I introduce people to Reiki, I just give them a little healing and say, see if this helps, and then usually they're like, wow, the pain went away, or something like that, some minor difference. And then I say, okay, let's continue and do some more. So as far as people, yeah, I mean, people don't mind shelling out thousands and thousands of rupees on hospitals and getting no results, by the way. I haven't heard a single person ever come to me and say, I paid 3 lakhs or 4 lakhs in that hospital and they still died. It's like they don't expect that, but they come to a healer and they're like, I gave you this much money, they're still not fine. Why don't I have results? Can you guarantee it? And I'm like, has a doctor ever guaranteed you anything? Like, why is it that only energy healers have to give guarantees? Like we're God. I'm God. So it's crazy. So you need to talk to them compassionately. We tend to go into this um, defense mode. You don't have to. People are just uneducated and you can just educate them kindly and say, look, this is not how it works. Has a doctor ever given you a guarantee? No, right? I'm not going to give you a guarantee. In fact, I will guarantee you it may or may not work. I have a good, rate of success, but maybe it won't work. I don't know. I'm not doing the healing, right? Um, so Momita says, in my case, I have sent healing to many people who have been in ICU struggling and they've crossed the bridge. And then they say after healing session, people died. This is something I do cover in my Reiki classes, actually. A lot of uh, a lot of the times people are not able to die because their souls are stuck. But I mean, people just want people to live. They don't want anyone to die. So I always tell my students to explain to people. I always tell my clients, there have been a couple of instances where I did not know that they were in their last days. But almost in every case where I know that, oh, this person is on, they may die or might not, then I always tell them, look, Reiki can speed up the process. Are you okay with that? Because that's a warning you have to give them. Otherwise, yes, people will end up saying this. Reiki does help with the death process a lot. But normal people, they don't understand and they will often say this, yes. So if we are healing with permission and without any kind of exchange, does it affect us in a negative way? Do we attract any kind of happiness? Yes. I have seen a lot of people get quite sick when they have been healing for free. I have met a couple of people who were not my students, and I don't know how their own practice was, but I've met a couple of people who do a lot of free work, maybe Reiki, maybe not. But in general, I've found them to be very egoistic and they go around giving free gyan to everyone around them. They just start feel like they know better than everyone else. The humility completely disappears. This is my experience, and this is why I was like, okay, this is a very, very dangerous game to be playing. Personally, I have done a few free sessions as well. And I thought they weren't really free because I had my own logic because I thought I was getting something else out of it. But even those caused a lot of heaviness in my own system. I just couldn't take it, then I had to stop, So, no. Free healing, if you're sensitive and aware of what's going on, you will realize it doesn't work well for your system at all. It's not good. And without permission, yes, definitely. The moment you heal someone without permission, you are taking on their karma. As simple as that. You are telling the universe, this person's problem is actually mine. Don't even give it to them. Give it to me. So yeah. So Mamita says, yes, that's basically what's happening with me. Insomnia, facing quote some blockages. People don't want to pay and just say, please send healing. Yeah, in that case, just be polite and tell them, I'm sorry, it's not working out. I'm picking up your negativity instead. And, if they're feeling very embarrassed to give you something, then tell them to donate in a temple and send you the receipt. Make a donation in your name, So some people get very offended that you would want money, and that means you're a bad person and, money minded and everything. And that can be a block in receiving healing from you. In such cases, I always say, ask them to make a big donation in our temple. Then you have no problem. That money is not coming to me, right? So, does Reiki protect us from psychic attacks? Partially, yes, not completely. Provided you're doing twice a day, it can protect you to an extent. What does a dark cloud-like smoke around my face mean during meditation? You should be doing some strong cleansing. Probably not a good thing. Probably some sort of dark energy around you. Just do, if you're in India, Agnihotra is a great thing to be doing. If you're abroad, then maybe do saging and cleanse your energy field. Make sure you're doing Reiki twice a day. What do you suggest is on food? There is pollution and improperly sourced, especially in the US. Even vegetables are packed, no fresh food, dairy and meat. Give Reiki to your food. US, yes, it's pretty bad. Lots of GMO, and look at the sort of allergies, life-threatening allergies they have over there. It's not nice. But as far as India is concerned, India and Europe, I don't think you have too much to worry about it. It's just chemicals, wash it, it's okay. And I mean, your body is capable of absorbing nutrients. The thing is, we ruin our body by eating all kinds of nonsense, and then we blame the foods for us not being healthy. Come on, look around. There are healthy people out there. How are they able to manage remaining healthy? Because something is right with their body. So it is possible to be healthy regardless. I mean, even when the air started getting polluted for the first time, they started blaming all the diseases on, oh, we're not breathing polluted, clean air. So, and then they look around and there's still people reaching 100 plus, and they're doing fine. They're breathing the same air. They're still in the city, right? So it is possible. That's the first thing you have to realize. And it's not the fault of the food. Yes, of course, they don't have as much nutrition as before, but your body, when you start listening to your body will guide you. So listen to your body and give Reiki to your food. These two things will maximize, a lot of your eating processes and make sure that you get the nutrition that you need. So Darshan is asking, why does it take so much time for people to feel the energy, and why do some people just get it like that? And does it have to do with our current karma or past life karma? Very interesting question. Very, very interesting question. Thank you for asking that. It fluctuates. There are some people who feel it instantly. Yes, that's very nice, very pleasant. It's always entertaining as a Reiki teacher to be in a class and everybody saying, I saw colors and I saw that and I felt warm. And then there's someone who's like, I felt nothing. And I give Reiki to myself and I feel nothing. I'm feeling nothing at all. Is it happening? Am I attuned? Yes, you are attuned. Not everybody feels something. Um, but yeah, so the thing is, it's a combination of factors. How much of a contrast is there? Like, if your energy is here and you're coming to here with a Reiki practice, then there's a huge contrast, and that contrast is one factor in feeling. And then there's the question of how sensitive are you? So it's a combination of these two factors. As you practice Reiki more and more, as such, this contrast starts reducing. And even people who do feel a lot can end up feeling nothing after about 2.5 years of practice. You can go into the zone where you feel absolutely nothing. And especially after you learn level three, give it a year or so after level three, and you will experience levels of like absence of sensation like never before. This phase where you don't experience a sensation is the phase where you need to get your head down and actually do the practice. Think of it like this, every relationship, it's exciting in the beginning, but not every relationship, right? Some relationships start out bad and it's just continuous fighting and then eventually it gets good. So it's the same thing with the spiritual practice as well. Mostly it starts out very well. People are enjoying it, the honeymoon phase, and then it starts to just bail out and then get really boring and there's no kick in the relationship anymore. In the same way, there's no kick, there's no payoff in the journey anymore, and then you're just bored. And then if you go and look for a second, for another process and then another process, you're just doing step one, step one, step one every time. You're not going to get anywhere like that. It's pointless. You have to get through the boring phase to actually benefit from any system. It doesn't matter whether it's Reiki or anything else. Every single system is going to start out interesting and then get like super boring, and you have to push through that boring phase. And for people like Sudarshan, it starts out boring. So great, brilliant. You skip the first part, you're further along. But yeah, for most people, it does grow slowly, and I don't think you need to worry about it. I know one person so far among my students who, even after 3 years of Reiki, didn't feel anything. Is it related to our karma? Maybe. I guess if you spent a few lives developing your third eye, maybe you have more sensation, but I don't know. That's just speculation. Um, okay, so feeling energy in terms of feeling Reiki. I get it. Okay, so do we accumulate bad karma when we eat non-veg? It depends, really. Again, it's the question of attachment. Are you eating like, oh, I love this food and I just need to eat it? I think you accumulate bad karma when you overeat. So if you have the option to eat healthy vegetarian food and then you continue to eat non-veg anyway, if you're not listening to your body, people don't realize that. Your body will tell you what's right for you. But most people are not eating for their body. So it doesn't matter whether you're eating non-veg or whether you're eating vegetarian food. The question is actually, am I eating to sustain my body, or am I eating to feed my to satisfy my taste buds? And I would say that a lot of non-vegetarians are just actually eating to satisfy the taste buds. It's not that they actually need it. So definitely, yes, non-veg food will give you bad karma. But does a pizza give you bad karma? Yes, totally. Because you're not listening to your body at all. It could be a vegetarian pizza. You'd still accumulate bad karma because you're not listening to your body. So yeah, you will get bad karma. Okay, and there's one more very interesting question. I understand about Reiki being given only with permission, but can you explain why and how to deal with this for a loved one's pain if they themselves are not ready to accept help? It's a lovely question. I give the example of these Indian aunties at weddings for a single person, typically for this, for permission. If you're a hot and single person in an Indian wedding full of your relatives, you're going to have a minimum of two people walk up to you and say, why are you still single? When are you getting married? When are you getting hitched? And if they really love you, they're going to be bringing you a few guys or girls, whatever you are. So how does that feel? Is that really helpful when people decide that they know better what you want and need for your life and then they take decisions accordingly? Do you feel happy and open and free, or do you feel violated and angry and hurt? you know. If you really love someone, the first thing you've got to do is trust their assessment, you know. Like I said, yes, if it is affecting you directly, like for example, suppose a family member is chronically ill and it's affecting your life because you have to keep taking off from your work, so you don't get promotions now, and then you have to keep rushing them to the hospital. It's costing you so much money as well. You cannot save up, and and then that's causing issues in another area of your life. So if it's affecting your life directly, then you have a right to take action, because I mean they are your responsibility, and your responsibility, you get to choose how you deal with it. But if this person is not your responsibility, if they're not directly impacting your quality of life, you have no right to tell them what they should be doing with themselves and how they should be dealing with their own lives. We all choose pain. For a long time, when I started healing people, I used to have this judgment towards people that, oh, you're choosing pain, look at you. And then I started to realize, wait, I choose pain as well. All of us do. And if you don't realize that, you just need to do a little bit more work on yourself. We all choose pain because at some point it gets comfortable. And even if it's not comfortable, there are times we just need more time. We need more time to settle in, get comfortable, relax, reach a point where we're ready to put in the effort to get out of this situation, and then you know we move forward. And it's not even necessarily conscious, because the universe, everything, every seed has its germination time, right? You put it on the ground, some will sprout in the next one day, some will take a year to sprout sometimes. So your subconscious, your higher self, whatever you want to call it, something deep inside knows this problem has begun, but it's not over yet. It needs time, you know. So until you feel, your body feels, yes, it's time to let this problem go, you're not going to be really interested in all these solutions and remedies, and you just won't go for it. So if somebody is choosing pain, honor that request and do Reiki for how you feel about it. And if you've learned EFT, definitely do EFT for how you feel, the helplessness and the frustration and maybe even anger and maybe guilt, for seeing them suffer like this and to be able to do nothing about it. Okay, so the discussion has come back to vegetarian. I've tried going vegetarian, then my performance actually dipped later on when I started having non-veg. My performance was better, and my recovery is better. My body craves for protein, but vegetarian isn't working. Like I said, just do the best you can. As you do more and more, you've more or less just begun Reiki. So give it time, practice a lot more. And then your body needs less and less food as you practice more, do a little bit more, maybe intermittent fasting if that works for you. Your body starts really sourcing energy from the universe, and then you need lesser and lesser and lesser and lesser food over time, and you have more energy. So my point is simple: just listen to your body. The body knows, and you need to practice that sincerely rather than just following everything that books tell you. Your body will guide you better than any other nutritionist or dietitian or scientist. Okay, looks like everyone's out of questions. So that was almost half an hour, I think. Thank you everyone for joining me. And yeah, I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.